The IELTS speaking test is in total 11 to 14 minutes long. It consists of three parts. The first part is 4 to 5 minutes long. This part is a short interview with personal questions about things such as where you live or what you study about. This part two is the part known as the long term. Here you need to speak on your own for 2 minutes on the subject. The examiner will give you the final part. Part three is a longer discussion, which is linked to the subject in part two. And these questions are more complex in nature and will promote a more in-depth discussion in part one. You just need to give personal information. The questions may seem quite easy, but try to extend your answers if you can. In part two, the examiner will give you a prompt with a topic and 4 points relating to it. You will have 1 minute to prepare and make notes. The examiner will tell you when to start the speaking in part two. You have to speak on your own without any interaction from the examiner, as you will need to ideally be talking for about 2 minutes and think about answering all parts of the prompt and connecting your ideas clearly. Don't worry about the timing. The examiner will tell you when to stop speaking and may ask you a follow-on question or two. In part three, the examiner is looking for more complex language. You should be expressing your views on the subjects. Here, candidates are marked in four categories: fluencies, and coherence, uh, lexical resource, grammatical resource, and lastly, pronunciation. And Band 7 students can speak at length without such much effort, can use less common vocabulary and collocations and paraphrase well, has a generally accurate grammar and uses a range of complex patterns and is easy to understand. Okay, Gonzalo, in the first part of this test, I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself. What in what interesting places have you visited? Well, that is good. I did this a couple of places in my life. I know London for just a couple of years. I've been already in Paris. I know parts of Spain, not all of them, but I know a couple of places like the south. I used to go there during my summer holidays. Why? Why were there? Why were they interesting? Well, I'm really fascinated about the fact that you can learn so many things about different people, different places, and it's good as well just to see a different type of things as well, just doing outside your comfort zone. And I have to say that. And they were really fascinating because different things and you start learning different ways of thinking, and that's I think that's the main point. What country would you most like to visit, and why? I would love to visit Japan because I really appreciate their culture. They speak me really well about all their inhabitants, and I am really looking forward to it. to be honest, because I think that they have a completely a different way of thinking, and that is truly interesting. Do you prefer the countryside or the city? I do prefer the countryside, to be honest, but nowadays it's really difficult to live in the, you need to live in the city, because if you live in the countryside, you need to level every single day at least 1 hour. But I think that living in the countryside, you get that peaceful feeling. You can just see all the birds and all the different things that you don't appreciate that in the city, even though you have green spaces. Just a clear example is London. You have huge parks. It's not the same feeling that going to the countryside, where you can really feel, you can really breathe the fresh air. Okay, let's move on onto food. What kind of food do you prefer? Well, I have to say that I love Mediterranean food. I need to follow my ingredients. So I will say all the Italian, Spanish, Greek, and what kinds of food are popular in your country? Well, we have lots of them popular in my country. I would say that the main one would be pala. We eat lots of seafood, as well as I have a lot of lobster, that all type of different fishes, as well. And so it is quite interesting. But if I have to choose one of them, probably I will go for the Spanish dips, tapas. Even though it's quite international nowadays, I will say that we have that little touch, just to make the Spanish way. So yeah, and that will be what is the most important thing for you when you go to a restaurant. I think that the service is the first thing that I really look after, because I think that the service really changed the whole experience, obviously. You need to have a couple of quality food, and you have to have a good presentation. But I think that the whole experience is quite important. So I'm a really person. I am not. I'm a really personal people. Uh, you have to, if I can say it that way. So in part one, Gonzalo answers the questions fully and organizes what he wants to say logically, and extends his answers, giving reasons and examples, and comes to a natural conclusion in each response rather than talking until the examiner interrupts with the next question. In the term of fluency and coherence, he speaks clearly and usually fluently, and self corrects a few times without losing confidence or flow. Gonzalo uses hesitation to buy himself some thinking thinking time, and uses the linking words and phrases to connect his ideas, so he could improve his fluency and coherence in the following ways. He would benefit from using a wider range of linking words and phrases he repeats, and so a lot. It would be good if he could introduce more variety here, such as therefore, as a result, because of consequently, in addition to that, and as this would demonstrate that the that he understands the function of these words in terms of showing the relationship between ideas in this second part. I'm going to give you a topic, and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you talk, you can take some notes if you wish. Do you understand? I do. Here is your topic. I would like you to describe an adventure that you would like to go on, and there is some paper and a pencil for making notes. Always look at the other piece of paper if you want to. Those fingers are working fantastically. Okay, I can't just start to speaking now. Please don't worry. If I stop you, I'll tell you when the time is up. Absolutely. So, my experience on my adventure probably will be in all the Asian areas. I would love, as I said, and to see all the Japanese culture and really love the way they think, the way they act, the way they are so organized. Probably is because it is so different from my country. So I think that that is really something that makes me what I may want to go to the country, and that makes me want to go to the country. I want to know the culture and visit everything. Probably, I will choose one of my best friends that is called Borja. I've been with him since we were 3 years old. So we went together to school. We went to get to university. So it's a kind of another brother for myself, and I think that we both want to see the same things, and we want to experience the same kind of thing. So I will take him with me appropriately. We don't need that big equipment or skills or abilities because it's just like a normal traveling. It's just knowing the culture is mixing with local people. I think that is the best thing and that you can do to really know the culture and really know the country. So I will say that the only thing that you need is a bag, and so will be backpacking is really interesting, and I would say that the most important thing is just to understand the way they think, just to see why they do things, why they do that type of sushi, why they love that food. It's something that really makes the whole experience something unique and different. And actually, that is the thing that later you can tell your friends. Like I know Japan, I don't know all the tourist place, but I know as well and the a little village nearby the sea where no one have ever been, just the local people. And I think that that's the magic of traveling, and that is the magic of seeing different things. Okay, thank you. Firstly, I want to say that Gonzalo uses the preparation time well and makes good notes. And they are not too detailed, and they address all parts of the prompt. So they help him respond to the task appropriately within the time over. All in part two, Gonzalo's lexical and grammatical range is adequate, that it could be improved. He uses some structures such as simple passive, the future simple, a couple of modal verbs, and the present perfect. However, there are only isolated examples of each, and much of his answer is in the present simple. He benefits from using some conditional structures or adding information through relative clauses or past models for hypothesizing or speculation. His vocabulary is fairly common, although he does use unique and equipment. He repeats things a lot. It would be better if he could use more topic specific vocabulary and a couple of phrases or idioms. Now we've been talking about an adventure, and I'd like to ask you some questions related to this. Let's start with people and exploring what kinds of personality traits make people more adventurous. Well, I think that you don't need to have a special personality. I think that it is just a matter of really looking forward to learn something new. Everything can be adventurous. You just need to, as I said, you just need to break that routine, and you need to go out of your comfort zone and start realizing that there is a lot of things out there. Sometimes when you are just in a city and the bar that you like, you go all the time to that certain supermarket, and you go out and you see that there is different food and there is a different type of thing. There are different type of people as you start getting that feeling of being adventurous, and you are all the time willing to have some willing to have more and more all the time. So, why do you think it's important for people to push their boundaries in what way? Because I think that it is a good way to break with everything. It's a good way to either learn more about yourself and learn more about the world that you are living in. So I think that that is really good because it, first of all, you mature with all that you go to another country that don't speak, and they may don't speak English. Um, and they may not speak your own language. So I think that it pushes yourself into a way where you need to have something, you need to eat, you need to express yourself. So it really helps you becoming a new person and thinking more generally about exploring the planet. Do you think all exploration is valuable? I never thought about that question. And to be honest, I think that that is really valuable because probably it is not helping yourself, it is helping the whole society, having people out there that they are exploring and learning all the new cultures, new creatures, and all that different things that you can find out that it helps us as a human being and to keep growing and keep evolving. And do you think it is worth spending money on space exploration? I do think, as well, it's really related to what I was saying. We need to know our world, but I think that it's a good to have new goals, and I think that exploring the universe, it will help everything. It will help our economy. We'll have understanding ourselves, and in general it will help everything, all society, economy, and all that kind of different stuff. Okay, Gonzalo, thank you very much. That is the end of the IELTS speaking test. Thank you. Why do you think it's important for people to push their boundaries in that way? Because I think that it's a good way and to break with everything. It's a good way to either learn more about yourself and learn more about the world that you are living in. And so I think that it's a really good because it, first of all, you mature with all that you go to another country that they don't speak. Um, they may don't speak English, and they may not speak your own language. So I think that it pushes yourself to a way where you need to have something, you need to eat, you need to express yourself. So it really helps you becoming a new person. And let's just start with people and exploring what kinds of personality traits make people more adventurous. So well, I think that you don't need to have a special personality. I think that it's just a matter of really looking forward to learn something new. You know, everything can be adventurous. You just need to, as I said, you just need to break that routine, and you need to go out of your comfort zone and start realizing there's a lot of things out there sometimes when you are just in a city and you know that bar that um, you like, you go all the time into that certain supermarket, and you go out and you see, and then there is a different food, and there is a different type of thing, and there are different type of people. You start getting that feeling of being adventurous, and you are all the time willing to have more and more all the time. For the third part of the test, Gonzalo gives thorough answers, which he expands by giving details and examples in order to fully develop and explain his ideas. He speaks confidently and fluently and has plenty to say. He has some nice expressions, such as I think that it's just a matter of really looking forward to learning something new. And I never thought about that question, to be honest. And this last expression is useful as it always buys him some more thinking and thinking time. He also uses a good range of vocabulary in such as comfort zone, push yourself, and evolving. He is generally accurate grammatically and uses variety of structures such as present simple, present continuous, modal verbs, past simple, future simple. However, he makes some basic errors, such as subject verb agreement, and could use a wide range of grammatical structures to fulfill certain functions, such as hypothesizing or speculating, as they are important for answering the more abstract questions found in part 3 of the test.